Hello and welcome. My name is Mark Koep, and this is podcast number 3 of the Campground View Show. I still got to come up with a good name for it, so I'm open for that. Leave comments down below if you have a naming idea, and give me a thumbs up if you think these are worth your time. Our whole purpose with these shows is to help you engage, discover, and learn more about camping and RVing. Personally believe that camping and RVing is the most amazing thing that you can potentially do in the United States because it allows you to explore the outdoors, explore this great country, and reconnect with family and friends. Our entire mission is to make camping amazing, and we're constantly working to do just that. So in these podcasts, you'll find that we do interviews, conversations, and specials. Today, we're going to take you to Maine, where we're going to learn about a unique campground and RV park located on a beautiful lake near the ocean and near all the great things that Maine has to offer. And we'll have that conversation in a little bit. In the meantime, let me share a little story with you. Last 2 episodes, I talked a lot about our first days of traveling and the reason we traveled. Again, my wife and I are full-time RVers. We've been doing it for almost 11 years traveling this country. We've been around the country, as we say, twice. We've been to all the lower 48 states. The only states we have not visited are Alaska and Hawaii. And I know Alaska is a big camping destination, but there's some strategic reasons why we've not RV'd to that location yet, and primarily being what you're viewing this on, internet. I need bandwidth in order to do my job, and traveling through Canada up into Alaska, you get a lot of dead spots out there, so it ends up being more of a vacation than work, and summertime is really our busy time. So that's the reason why we haven't gone to Alaska, but it's definitely one of those places we want to go. But as RVers and as explorers, as adventurers, as entrepreneurs, one of the big things we've learned, and that's become really ingrained in our opinions and our actions, is the concept of planning and expectations. So when we first started RVing, we came from an apartment in a suburban area where you had all the amenities and you had your set expectations and you had the ability to really plan out your days, into a full-time RVing lifestyle where you really kind of have some plans, but you always have to be flexible. And the story I like to share with this is a story that happened a few years in. So now we'd gone beyond the first year and a half, 2 years, and we were still a young couple at that time, and not old yet, but younger than we are now. And we wanted to start a family. And we had this debate on whether or not we settle down, rent a house or buy a house and start a family there, or if we continue RVing. And it was really a big decision. And we spoke to a lot of people, and the advice we got and what we ended up going with was, well, you can always start out a family in the rig, and if it gets too hard, just stop. And so we did, and our son was born 7 years ago. And once he hit about 1, we were like, well, we need to get him a bedroom. He needs to have his own place. And at the time, we were in a 38-foot fifth wheel, really nice Keystone Challenger unit. We love that thing. But it didn't have a bedroom for him. We just had our own bedroom, and we had a crib up there for him. And so we started looking around for these toy haulers because we figured we would take the toy hauler space, turn that into a secondary bedroom, and then I could have an office area. And that was the vision. And started looking around for units, and toy haulers are pretty pricey. They're generally pretty heavy, and they're generally designed for storing equipment in the back, right? Motorcycles, side-by-sides, that type of stuff. So they don't have the slide out that gives you the extra space. And so really we were struggling trying to find a good unit. We weren't really finding a good unit. Anyways, I happened to be browsing around Craigslist, and we were in Arizona at the time, and I came across this really bad Craigslist ad, and it said 44-foot fifth wheel with 2 bedrooms. I was like, well, what is, it had the brand name, never heard of it. And I said, let's go check this out. So I called and made an appointment, and we went and looked at the unit. And as we came around the corner, we saw the fifth wheel that we're in right now and said, wow, that thing is absolutely perfect. But here's the catch. We're full-time RVers. So if you have a house and you go buy an RV, you can easily park that RV on the side yard as you get ready to go, or you can put it in storage or whatnot. This is our home. So we have to move out of one of our homes into the other home, right? So we have to move out of one RV into the other RV. And then we have the problem where at any one point in time there, we have 2 RVs. Where do we put them? How do we handle that? It actually creates a real dilemma as a full-time RVer. How do you go about doing this? And so it was a really big challenge, and we're trying to plan this all out, and it was, really think through the process. Anyway, so we're talking to the couple that we bought this unit from, and we ended up negotiating a price right there and agreeing to buy the unit. And something came up. You know, we were worried about where we're going to store this, and they said, well, you know, we're willing to sell it to you, but is it all right if we stay in it through the next month as we get ready to go back to our house? And Katerina and I looked at each other and said, yeah, that sounds great, you know, because it gave us a month of what do we do now, right? And so then we're driving home trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And, you know, a few days go by and we're still not figuring out what's going to happen. And all of a sudden my phone rings. And this gentleman with a heavy Wisconsin accent, and I forget his name, but we'll make it up. It was Irene and Al from Wisconsin. Do you still have that Keystone Challenger that you had advertised on eBay a few months back? Because previously we thought about this problem. We were deciding on, debating on whether or not we should sell our RV in advance, move into an apartment, and then flip over into an RV. And so for the heck of it, I'd thrown the RV up on eBay to see if there's any takers, and didn't get anything. We're now two weeks into trying to figure, or 2 days into trying to figure out what we're going to do now that we bought this other unit, how we're going to get rid of our Keystone Challenger. And he says, hey, I'm interested in buying your unit. And I was like, sight unseen? Are you going to come out and see? He's like, nah, I've got an uncle in Arizona. I'll have him swing by, check it out, make sure it is what it is. Are you still good with that price you were asking for? And I was like, yeah, is that a fair price? He's like, great price. We'll take it if it looks good. But the only catch is, it's cold up here in Wisconsin. I don't want to come get it. So can you hold on to it for me for a month, and then I'll have somebody come pick it up? Yeah, sounds good. And so that is exactly the story that happened. So we sold our unit, bought this other one. We moved our Keystone Challenger in right next door to the new unit, and literally pulled them door to door like this. And we just carried our stuff across into the other unit, got the Keystone Challenger cleaned out. 5 days later, a delivery truck pulled up, backed up to it, hooked it up, and took it away. And there we were with our new RV. The big lesson we learned from all that, and it's something that we've carried through, is we don't try to drive a lot of our expectations into our decisions. We know that fate, karma, religion, faith will guide us through where we need to be. So instead of trying to force ourselves and our decisions and our needs onto a situation, we simply put out what we'd like to see happen and then go with the flow. So maybe when you're on your next RVing trip and stuff isn't going your way, maybe you can just take a step back and say, maybe it's not going our way for a reason. Let's just see where stuff is leading us and go along on that journey instead. Maybe you have more fun. Maybe you might just discover your next amazing RV adventure. And to that, let's jump over to this interview that covers an RV park in Maine in a unique location. I hope you enjoy it. Today, I've got Billy McNamara with me from Loon's Haven Campground. Billy, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, so Loon's Haven Campground, is that for a bunch of crazy people, or what is it?
I think so. I think our seasonals would agree with that. We are Loon's Haven because here on Tricky Pond, we have a lot of loons. Like they are protected here. We have babies every year. You can see on our website, I have awesome pictures of the loons that are out there. So, but I guess you could go with the
located up in Maine, so you're open seasonally, correct?
Yeah. Yes, May 15th through October 15th.
And how many sites do you have, and why do people want to come here?
So we have 154 sites here. Most of them are seasonal sites because people are here, they love the pond, they want to be here. The campground actually opened in 1961. So some of these seasonals that have been here, they've been here since the campground opened, or they've passed it down to their families. People want to come here because Tricky Pond is actually considered one of the cleanest bodies of water in the state of Maine. It's spring fed from the mountains, crystal clear. We are in the Sebago Lakes region, but we are on Tricky Pond. We're the only campground on Tricky Pond. So we just, us and a few private residences. It's very quiet. It's about 450 acres, 60 feet deep in the middle. You can go out to the middle and you can see straight down. That's how clear the water is.
Really? And
yes.
Do they stock it with fish?
I don't think they have to. I don't think they have to, because again, it's just us and a few private people, but fishing is abundant here. People love to come here and fish.
So do you draw a lot of folks that are mostly locals, or do you get folks from out of the area also?
We actually get both. We get people from Maine because Maine is such a diverse state. We have everything here. We've got the ocean, we've got the mountains, we've got the woods, and where we are is actually considered a lake region. So we're, a little bit of ways from the ocean front, but it's just a different thing. You can drive half an hour in Maine and be in a whole different environment. So
well, yeah, you're talking an hour away from Portland, and Yeah, I even see Mount Washington here on the map, and you're not
Yes.
super far away from there if this thing will adjust. So you're
Yep.
about an hour from that. You know, I actually have that sticker on the front of our big fifth wheel. It says I climbed Mount Washington. It didn't really, you know, everybody
Nice.
gets that sticker from there. So this area of Maine, you're open. When do you open up?
May 15th we open.
May 15th, and then you're open through October?
October 15th, yes.
When is the absolute best time to come to Maine?
So the best time I think to come to Maine is either between the middle to end of June, and then from middle of July to August, because that time in June the bugs are gone, and it's still, you still have those really nice brisk mornings, you know, nice evenings, and then in July we have maybe about 2 weeks of really hot weather, and then it gets beautiful again.
Well, I like this. So so you're from Maine, right?
I am from Maine, yes.
Okay, so what's really hot weather to you?
Oh, okay. So I'm from Maine, but I did spend part of my life in the South. So
Okay.
I understand what hot weather is. We did get up to hundreds last July, but it was only for about 2 days.
So that's legitimately hot. Okay, so it gets warm there a little bit, but it still gets cool in the evenings. Beautiful area. So folks who are planning their trip for this summer, you say you're a lot of seasonal guests there, but I imagine you have some short-term sites also. When should they start booking?
They should start booking now. So we open up rates actually May 15th for the next year. So this May 15th will be opening for 2021. So, you know, get those bookings in, because our premium waterfront sites is where I'm sitting right now. So you are right on the edge of the water. It's a great site to be. So all of our transient sites, our visitor sites are right here on the water's edge, and people like their sites. So you need to get booking now.
Do you have a boat launch?
We don't have a boat launch here. It's about half a mile down the road, the public boat launch, but we do have 3 boat slips here. So you can bring your boat, keep it here, go out and enjoy the water.
Okay, perfect. And it looks like you have a beach available.
We have
Overall,
2
just
beaches.
A good location. Well, you got a link here on your website of things to do in the area, and why would somebody want to come to your park, and what's going to draw them in order to come stay at the location?
So, you know, again, with this area of Maine, we are very close to Portland. So we're close to that water. We're close to all those amenities that Portland has. But we have hiking trails up here. You go a little bit northern Maine where we have the mountains to view. We have events. Our little town in Naples here actually has quite a few events. It's, yeah, you can see it there. Right on the causeway there, we have the Songo River Queen, which is an old steamboat, which is really neat. You can take a ride on that.
How do you spell that?
It's just, I think it's Songo, S-O-N-G-O, River Queen.
River Queen, okay.
Yep. And so it's right down there. We're a mile off the causeway. So there's little restaurants. There you go. See, nice picture of it. Go out. They have sunset cruises. They have, you know, day cruises. Really beautiful. And it's been here for a long time. I have pictures of me when I was a kid on the Songo River Queen. So, I mean, it's up to you. If you want to come here and stay on your campsite and just enjoy Tricky Pond and not talk to anyone, you can do that. There's plenty of room here. All of our sites are wooded. There's trees between the sites. Or if you want to go and try out the different restaurants that are in the area in Portland, it's an easy drive.
So I notice there's a state park nearby, Sebago Lake State Park. What's the draw to the state park there?
Yeah, so Sebago Lake State Park, Sebago Lake actually feeds all of the water for Portland. It is ginormous, as you can see on your map there. It is a very, very big lake. So the state park has trails. They have camping there as well. You know, we're not the only, that's the good thing too about us, is we're not the only campground around. There's some amazing campgrounds that are near us, and they have awesome amenities too. So Sebago Lake, you can go out there. You can go fishing on Sebago Lake. You can boating, swimming, and it's 2 miles down the road from us.
That's amazing. How is cycling around your area? Are there good bike trails around there?
There's not bike trails here. There are at Sebago Lake. We don't have any bike trails where we're at, but you can go down to Sebago Lake and get on trails through there, through the state park.
And it's a heavily wooded, forested area. Look at that. So I imagine the fall colors. I mean, we're kind of getting a look at it right now, but those fall colors must really pop around that area.
Oh yes, it is beautiful, and that's another good time to come. You know, if you like that fall camping and come and see, you know, the foliage, this is the place to be.
And how far are you from Acadia National Park?
It's a little bit of a drive from Acadia, but
well on the way though. So I know this area is like a stopover spot if you're heading north to go to Acadia too. So It'd be a good
Yes.
spot, and especially if you're gonna go over to New Hampshire or Vermont into the Green Mountains and so forth, it'd be a great stopover spot.
Yeah, see, I think that would be great because if you came up and you went to Acadia first, you could cut across the state, stay with us, go through New Hampshire, go through Vermont and back down, kind of get the different views of Maine that I was talking about with the, you've got the sandy beaches down in Old Orchard, you've got the rocky coast up in Acadia, and then you can come over to us and have the lake region and the woods and the mountains.
So what are your rates at? What's the nightly rate for somebody staying through?
So our rates vary because we do have a few different types of sites. So we have these waterfront sites that, like where I'm sitting at now, and then we have, wooded sites that are in the back. They range between $41 up to $80 a night during the busy time during the holidays.
And your holidays, do they do fireworks over the lake at all?
They do. They don't do them here, but they do them down on the causeway.
Okay.
So you can just take the trip down to the causeway and see the fireworks down there. They have a big 4th of July festival down there.
Oh, and you've got some glamping tents along the water also.
We do. We have 2 glamping tents. So we actually added, we had 1 glamping tent and 1 rental cabin last year. We added a glamping tent and a rental cabin this year. So they're right on the edge of the water. They have all the amenities. They even have air conditioning in them. So, nice. And then our cabins have all the amenities, bathroom, kitchen, everything. You just bring your toiletries and your clothes and you're good to go.
Very cool. So if you're looking for a great spot to go in Maine, it's Loon's Haven Family Campground, located, is the city actually Naples? Is that what your address is?
Yes, we're in Naples.
Naples. You can get more information at loonshaven.com. Billy, thank you for bringing us up and inviting us to your park.
Thank you so much, Mark.
So that seems like a fun spot up in Maine, Loon Lake Campground and RV Park. And if you're looking to stay, do reach out to them. Let them know you saw them here on this interview, on this podcast. And we look forward to sharing more of these with you. If you're enjoying these episodes, please give us a thumbs up and a nice comment. If you're not enjoying the episodes, give us a thumbs up and some useful feedback so we can adjust and make them better. My name is Mark Koep. Our company is campgroundviews.com, and I'm hoping you have some safe and happy travels.